Well, hello, baseball fans, and welcome to another broadcast of Lamar Viking Varsity Baseball, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Baseball Booster Club. My name is Bill Frawley. I'll be doing the play-by-play. My usual broadcast partner tonight, Tony Farrago, is under the weather, so he won't be able to join us, unfortunately. And so I'll be doing this one solo. Tonight's game is going to feature, of course, your Lamar Vikings against the Sam Houston Texans. The first week of district play, and what's going on this season is something a little bit different. Is that they set it up to where the teams are going to play each other in district twice in the same week. Last season and before, history has always been that the teams would play each other once and then go through district play and then play each other again, alternating home and away. But they've changed it this year to where we play each team in the same week twice. I don't know if it was intended this way, but part of the result is you don't face the same pitcher from the same team twice in a row, which has been or in one season. So our first pitch is scheduled for 7 o'clock, and because I'm flying solo, there's going to be some dead air or at least audio. Yadi Pagan, the manager for the varsity team, is my videographer tonight, so he's going to be doing his best to keep everything going with the video portion of it. First broadcast of the season, so if there are any little bugs, we'll be working on getting those worked out as we get through the evening. But hopefully it's going to be an enjoyable opportunity for those of you who cannot be here at the Lamar Viking Diamond to watch and enjoy the game. Previously this week, the varsity teams did play on Tuesday night, and Lamar was victorious. I don't have the exact score with me. I apologize. Most of my stats usually come from Tony, and so, but I know it was a pretty good margin of victory by the Lamar Vikings. The coaches and umpires are coming out to the home plate for the conference at the home plate. When they are through with that, we're going to be doing the starting lineups and then the national anthem, and then, of course, first pitch of the game. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lamar Viking Diamond for today's matchup between the Sam Houston Texans and your Lamar Vikings. Starting lineups for today's game. First, for the visiting Texans, batting first in left field, number 12, Julian Rodriguez. Rodriguez in left. Batting second at second base, number 13, Daniel Herrera. Herrera at second. Batting third at shortstop, number 18, Osvaldo Flores. Flores at shortstop. Batting fourth at third base, number 15, Roberto Walker. Walker at third. Batting fifth, right fielder, number 16, Flavio Huerta. Huerta in right. Batting sixth, starting pitcher, number 7, Jonathan Valencia. Valencia at the pitcher's mound. Batting seventh, first baseman, number 9, Jose Moffitt. Moffitt at first. Batting eighth, designated hitter, number 34, Nebelisa Akpom. Batting ninth, center fielder, number 6, Shaheen Kelly. And the catcher is number 14, David Ruiz. They're led by coaches Chance and Carlton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Lamar Vikings. Batting first at second base, number 11, Cameron Weil. Weil at second. Batting second, designated hitter number 2, Kyle Foster. Foster, the designated hitter. The starting pitcher, number 16, Bradley Missile. Missile on the mound. Batting third, first baseman, number 24, Jose Gutierrez. Gutierrez at first. Batting fourth, center fielder, number 1, Wesley Powell. Powell in center. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 9, Sean Kelly. Kelly at short. Batting sixth, right fielder, number 3, Eric DeBrill. DeBrill in right. Batting seventh, left fielder, number 4, Kai Lancaster. Lancaster in left. Batting eighth at third base, number 5, Cameron Badillo. Badillo at third. Batting ninth at catcher, number 13, Chance Fuller. Fuller at catcher. The rest of the Lamar Vikings are Chase Russell, Jake Paff, Justin Escar, Liam Bell, and Dean Schaefer. The manager is Yadi Pagan. The coaches are Paul Kino and Damon Evans. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and honor our nation's flag and remember those who have served our country so proudly to preserve our freedom as we play the national anthem. And now with the national anthem played, the Vikings are going to get out and start their fielding practice. And we'll be back with you with the live audio here in just a few moments. We'll let the video roll, and you can see what happens until first pitch. Leading off for the Texans in the top of the first inning, left fielder number 12, Julian Rodriguez. So Julian Rodriguez is going to be the first batter for the Texans tonight. He's playing left field. Here's the first pitch. It's going to be high for ball one. Next pitch catches the outside edge for strike one. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Julian Rodriguez. Leadoff batter for the Texans tonight. And that pitch catches the strike zone for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Nobody out, nobody on. Top of the first inning just underway. It's a very cloudy, breezy, windy day here in Arlington, Texas. Here's the next pitch. It's a liner right back to, well, hopped once to the pitcher. Missile throws over to Gutierrez for out number 1. The next batter for the Texans, second baseman number 13, Daniel Herrera. So Daniel Herrera comes up to bat now with 1 out, nobody on. Again, top of the first inning. Game just underway. First pitch to him. And a first pitch strike in the corner of the strike zone. That pitch catches the strike zone as well. So no balls and 2 strikes to Daniel Herrera, the second baseman. That ball is going to go foul. Jose Gutierrez, the first baseman, reached out, couldn't quite pull it in. So it's going to harmlessly go into foul ball territory. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. There's a bouncing ball that goes to the shortstop. Sean Kelly makes a throw over to first base for out number 2. The next batter is number 18, shortstop Osvaldo Flores. First pitch to Osvaldo Flores. The shortstop misses for ball 1. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. Here in the top of the first inning. There's a bouncing ball that goes over Missile's head to Sean Kelly, picks it up, throws to Gutierrez for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first inning with no score.
Leading off for the Vikings in the bottom of the first inning, number 11, second baseman Cameron Wild.
I'm hearing from
He's up in the crow's nest.
ball is base hit for Kyle Foster out to short left field.
Number 24, first baseman Jose Gutierrez.
So the Vikings have one out, one runner on. That's Kyle Foster. Just hit a single out to left field. Jose Gutierrez, the first baseman's at bat. He looks at the first pitch for strike one. No balls and one strike to Gutierrez. Pitch over to first base. Foster slides back safely. And the count now, one ball and one strike with one out.
So the pitch out still from first to second.
Foster successfully moving over to second base on the pitch out. He's getting a pretty decent lead at second base now with one out and one on. One ball, one strike to Gutierrez. Time is called. High fly ball goes into foul territory, and that looks like it's going to be out of play into the bullpen area or over into the parking lot. So Gutierrez now one ball and two strikes. Here's the next pitch, way outside for ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Going to be a base hit, going to be a double for Gutierrez, and that's going to score Kyle Foster. Scoring on Gutierrez's RBI double is Kyle Foster. The next batter is number 1, Wesley Powell.
Put a run up.
High fly ball, and it's going to be, in and out of the glove of the first baseman, so that's just going to be a harmless foul ball for Powell. Count will go to 1 ball and 1 strike. That pitch finds its way into the strike zone, so now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wesley Powell. Center fielder for the Vikings, Gutierrez, the runner at second base with 1 out and 1 run in this inning. That pitch tails outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next pitch bounces in front of the plate, and the count will go full at 3-2 to Wesley Powell. High foul ball, going to go back over toward the dugout, and catcher not quite able to ring it in, so the count remains at 3-2. And the next pitch, ball 4, and that's going to be a walk for Powell. The next batter for the Vikings, number 9 shortstop, Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly comes up to the plate now with 2 on and 1 out. Gutierrez at second, Powell at first. First pitch to Sean Kelly misses for ball 1. And that pitch in there for strike 1. Swing and a miss. And I'm trying to get some bugs worked out, and I've got one of Arlington's finest up here with me. Clint Adam is up here helping with the scoreboard and helping me to know what's going on as I'm trying to push buttons and see if things are working properly. That pitch misses for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out and 2 on. And the next pitch, it's going to be a looper that's going to go into short right field. That's going to score Gutierrez for sure. And they're going to hold Powell at third. And on the throw-in, Kelly's going to go to second. So an RBI single. Scoring on Sean Kelly's RBI single, number 24, Jose Gutierrez. The next batter, number 3, right fielder, Eric DeBrill. good, it's working now. All right, so apparently we went on the air maybe a few minutes late. People had tried to get on early, and they needed to refresh their browser. So we are broadcasting, so hopefully we've got at least a handful of people. That pitch is going to miss. The runner's coming in as Powell, and he's going to score. The catcher couldn't find the ball, and so Powell, seeing the opportunity, he comes in and scores the third run of the inning. So to catch you up to speed here, there's one out and a runner on third for the Vikings. DeBrill swings and misses for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean Kelly, the runner at third base for the Vikings. Here's the next pitch. That's going to be high and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Eric DeBrill, the right fielder. Left-handed batter for the Vikings. We've got at least a couple of them this season. And that's a ground ball that's going to go right over the on-deck circle in front of the visitors' dugout. And the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next pitch to DeBrill in the strike zone for a called strike 3. The next batter for the Vikings, number 4 left fielder Kyle Lancaster. First pitch is a strike, so no balls and 1 strike to Lancaster. 2 outs now in the bottom of the first inning. 1 runner at third base, that's Sean Kelly. 3 runs in for the Vikings so far. And that pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a looper that's going to go out to, oh, what a catch by the right fielder for out number 3.
Leading off for the Texans in the top of the second inning, number 15, third baseman Roberto Walker.
Roberto Walker, the third baseman for the Sam Houston Texans. He's got a count of no balls and one strike. He's the leadoff batter this inning. That pitch misses for ball one. One ball and one strike. The Vikings ahead 3-0. They scored early in the first inning, taking advantage of 3 base hits, including a double by Gutierrez. Here's the next pitch. Catches the strike zone for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on here in the top of the second inning. And the next pitch, swing and miss for strike 3. The next batter is right fielder number 16, Flavio Huerta. So Flavio Huerta comes up to bat, a right-hander, playing right field. Second batter of the inning. That pitch just misses, hitting his head by a few inches. Bradley Missel is a freshman who made it onto the varsity squad this year. Pitcher with some pretty good speed. That pitch misses low for ball 2. Got 2 freshmen on the varsity squad this season so far. Bradley Missel on the mound today, and then Cameron Weil, who is playing second base. He was the leadoff hitter. 3 balls and no strikes now to Huerta. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. There's a bouncing ball that's going to go over to Jose Gutierrez. He'll field it himself and go back and step on first base for out number 2. The next batter is starting pitcher number 7, Jonathan Valencia. The pitcher is the next batter for the Texans. Comes up to the plate. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. Left-hander. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the second inning, with the Vikings ahead 3-0. And that pitch catches the strike zone. No balls and 2 strikes to Valencia. And quite a windy day out here today at the ballpark as well. And he makes a defensive move to swing and foul that one away to keep the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Cloudiness is increasing here in north part of Arlington, Texas. The wind's moving around in different directions. There's a high fly ball that's going out towards left field. Kai Lancaster brings it in and foul territory to end the inning, 3 up, 3 down. The score still 3-0.
3 up, 3 down again in the top of the second inning. The score remains 3-0.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Well, welcome back to the broadcast here in the bottom of the second inning. Cameron Badillo is going to lead off, playing third base for the Vikings today. He hits the first pitch sharply to the shortstop, deep in the hole. And the throw across is a great play, and it's out number one on the 6-3.
The next batter for the Vikings, the catcher, number 13, Chance Fuller.
So Chance Fuller will come up to the plate with nobody on base, one out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, the Vikings ahead 3-0. That pitch just goes over his head and almost hit his back there behind him. Would have been a foul ball. I saw that happen twice in a JV game earlier this week. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next pitch. He swings and hits that one foul over to the Viking bullpen. Even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Chance Fuller, a senior who played quarterback this past fall for the Viking football team. Now the starting catcher for the Viking baseball team. And the next pitch kind of had some softball arc on it there and missed the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the second inning. And the next pitch is on its way, and that hits him, put him on the base.
The next batter for the Vikings, number 11, Cameron Weil. Running at first base for the Vikings, number 15, Justin Esgar.
So Cameron Weil steps up to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. Now Chance Fuller, being the catcher, gets to have a courtesy runner for him. And that will be Justin Esgar, another senior. He's got a little bit of a lead at first base. He's going to go on the first pitch. Here's a throw down, and he's safe. I guess he just missed the tag, or he got to the bag just in time. So a stolen base for Justin Esgar. And a count of 1 ball and no strike to Cameron Weil. Well, Weil attempts to push a bunt down the third base line, and it eventually goes foul. So Esgar returns back to second base. Weil comes back to the plate. He's the other freshman on the varsity team, aside from the starting pitcher tonight, Bradley Missel. Another left-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the second inning. The Vikings up 3-0. And that pitch catches the inside of the strike zone for strike 1. Or strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitcher steps off. That pulls Esgar back over to second, but no one there to take the throw. Trying to keep Esgar somewhat honest at second base. Weil swings at this one, fouls that one back. It's going to go out of play just into the Viking bullpen. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cameron Weil, 1 out. 1 runner on. There's a bouncing ball to the first baseman who fields it himself. And they're going to say tie goes to the runner, so he is safe.
The next batter is number 2, Kyle Foster. That ball is hit just beyond the shortstop's reach. That'll score Esgar. Scoring is Justin Esgar. And that's going to bring a visit from the Sam Houston coach out to the mound. And a change of pitchers. We'll turn down the volume and you can watch the video. We'll be back.
He stole from first to second, pulled the shortstop off, got hit. It's like a hit and run.
Oh.
And he hit right where the shortstop used to be.
Wow, okay, gotcha.
Shortstop was trying to cover the base.
Oh,
and he
wow.
hit right
I was looking down. Okay, thanks.
pulled off the base. It's a 19 pitch. 19.
All right. Where are you headed, man? I can't eat while I'm doing all this on Varsity Nights.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Texans, number 19, Juan Rosales. Rosales now pitching for the Texans. Leading it off, or the next batter for the Vikings, number 24, first baseman Jose Gutierrez. So now after the new pitcher, number 19, Juan Rosales has come up to the plate, or to the mound. Up to the plate is Jose Gutierrez. 1 out and 2 on for the Vikings here in the bottom of the second inning. They lead 4-0 with 1 run in this inning. And here's the next first pitch. That's going to miss for ball 1. Runners at second and third for the Vikings.
Hey, bud, you doing okay? Good. How you doing?
And the next pitch going to miss outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Gutierrez. He had an RBI double back in the first inning. And then he ended up scoring a run in that inning also. Here's the next pitch. He drives that one to right center field. The center fielder's going back. And he made a great catch for that. Diving catch out there. So that'll go down as an F8. The next batter for the Vikings, Wesley Powell. And they throw back over to peel the tag up at second, but everything was safe.
I thought so too.
And the first pitch to Powell misses for ball one. Oh, it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Wasn't paying attention. He's doing good. He's down there with all the group of kids. Yeah. Yeah. They're all on spring break, so. Well, he's here at TCC.
Oh, it looked like that was going to be ball 4, and the delayed call by the umpire. Powell already tossed his bat back, was headed to first base. But the count is 3-1 instead of a 4-pitch walk. And the 3-1 pitch, and that will miss for ball 4. Number 9, Sean Kelly.
Yeah. He's still. He never will.
I'm surprised he played kid third the other day. He's never played third before.
So now with 2 outs, there's 2 runners on the corners. Powell's going to go on the first pitch, and the catcher bobbles that pitch. Can't make a throw. Probably wasn't a wise idea to throw anyway with a runner at third. So now it's 1 ball and no strikes. Runners at second and third for the Vikings. The score 5-0. 2 runs being scored in this inning. Sean Kelly, the shortstop at bat. Swings on that one. That's going to be a looper out to right field for a base hit. That's going to score Foster and Powell. Scoring on the hit, Kyle Foster and Wesley Powell. The next batter, number 3, Eric DeBrill. So now there goes Sean Kelly on the first pitch, but it's going to be fouled away, so he'll have to retreat back to first base. And that'll put a no ball and 1 strike count for Eric DeBrill. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 runner on at first base for the Vikings. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The score is 7-0 in favor of the Vikings against the Sam Houston Texans. Pitcher steps off the mound, looks over at first. Kelly retreats back to first, no throw. And a pitch out. Sean Kelly goes to second, but the throw is way over the head of the shortstop who's covering at second. It's going to be stopped by the center fielder. So 1 ball and 1 strike with a stolen base for Sean Kelly, who now stands on second base with 2 outs. And that pitch is fouled away, just back over the stands here. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And a swing and a miss. It's a drop strike 3, but the catcher gets the ball and throws it in time for out number 3, and it's 7-0. We'll be back. run scored in the bottom of the second inning. One runner left on base. The score now, Lamar 7, Sam Houston 0. Baseball fans, if you know of someone who cannot be at the game tonight, we are broadcasting live over the internet. They can go to lamarnation.com, lamarnation.com, and click on live stream and catch a live audio and video broadcast of the game from anywhere in the world.
About that was the ball was if the camera was being difficult with this, I think. Yeah, so if any questions that you say
Do a little less zooming in on the batters. Just a little less choppy. Doing a good job, man. Thank you for doing it.
Coach Flanagan got the smallest hat possible.
Leading off in the top of the third inning for the Texans, number 9, Jose Moffitt. Well, we're into the top of the third inning now. The Vikings lead 7-0 over Sam Houston Texans. And the next batter is number 9, Jose Moffitt, first baseman. And he swings and misses at the first one for strike
How
one.
you doing? How's the elbow? How's Scotland treating you? Are you?
No balls and one strike. The next pitch.
Are you playing?
That catches the bottom corner of the strike zone. No balls and two strikes.
Cool, man. You need
Two 3-up, 3-down innings here in a row for the Texans. 6 batters retired in order by Bradley Missel, the freshman pitcher. Here's the next pitch. It goes outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes now to Moffitt. The skies are getting cloudier and cloudier here as the evening goes on. There's a little defensive swing. It just bounces back to the pitcher, Missel, who throws to Gutierrez for out number 1. Go down as a 1-3. The next batter for the Texans, number 34, Nebulisa Akpom. First pitch just misses for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Nebulisa Akpom, the designated hitter, batting 8th in the order for the Texans. And that pitch framed pretty well by the catcher Chance Fuller for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. The first 7 batters retired in a row. And there's a swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This freshman pitcher, Bradley Missel, has some heat. He can throw quite the fastball. And the next pitch is fouled high and back over the stands. And the count will stay 1-2. There's another one fouled away off over into the soccer practice field over the visitors' dugout. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you are out there tuned in and you know of someone who has been having trouble, ask them if they're communicating with you. Tell them to refresh their browser. Apparently and there's strike 3 called. Apparently if you tune in or try to get in before we start the broadcast, you have to refresh your browser after it has started. So if you know of someone who's trying to, let them know about that. The next batter is number 6, Kelly Shaheen. Kelly Shaheen comes up to the plate next. First pitch to him, and there for strike one. A lot of first pitch strikes for Bradley Missile tonight. 8 batters retired in order so far. That pitch misses for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs and nobody on. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. The Vikings lead 7-0. They scored 3 in the first, 4 in the second. That pitch catches the strike zone. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Missile being very effective. He's gotten most of the batters that have hit the ball to ground into some outs. He has struck out 2, 1 swinging, 1 watching. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The only fly ball going out to left field. Kyle Lancaster brought that one in earlier in the game. And there's a foul ball that's going to go back into the netting. And the count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Foul tip caught for out number 3. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. We'll be back.
3 up, 3 down in the top of the 3rd. The score remains 7-0. Back to that. Leading it off for the Vikings in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Kyle Lancaster.
Kyle Lancaster comes up to lead off in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Vikings. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Vikings ahead 7-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. He hits that ball out to right center in the gap. That's going to be a base hit, and he might get 2 out of that. He will get 2. And he's going to stop there with a stand-up double. The next batter for the Vikings, Cameron Badillo. No balls and 1 strike to Badillo, the 3rd baseman for the Vikings tonight.
Which was welcome to the jungle. He loved it. So
grounded out to the shortstop in the second inning
Then he switched to something else.
when he led off. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 runner on second base for the Vikings. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Strike 2 it is. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the sun has completely gone down, and now it's an overcast sky, so the lights are in full effect here at the Lamar Viking Diamond on this Friday night. Winds have been moving around a little bit. Now it looks like they're coming out of the southwest to the northeast, according to the flag out in center field. Here's the next pitch. That misses outside. That's going to get behind the catcher for a pass ball, and that will advance the runner to third base, Kai Lancaster. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out, and a runner on third for the Vikings. And the next pitch, high for ball 3. Full count to Badillo with a runner at third. He steps out, pitcher steps back, catcher stands up. Now everyone's back in position. And the next pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. Number 13, Chance Fuller. So Chance Fuller comes up to the plate now with 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch is swung on. It's going to be hit to center field. The center fielder makes the play on it. Tag up at third by Lancaster, and he scores easily. Scoring on the sacrifice fly is Kai Lancaster, RBI for Chance Fuller. Now batting number 11, Cameron Weil. Weil puts a bunt down the third base line, and he's fast enough. He beat that before the bad throw, so he'll get a single, I believe, is how I would count that. He wheels around second on the bad throw all the way to third. Number 2, Kyle Foster. Kyle Foster comes up. He's a designated hitter tonight. There's 2 outs and a runner at third for the Vikings. 1 run in this inning. It's 8-0. First pitch is outside. The catcher keeps that from going behind him. That'll keep Cameron Weil at third base.
I'm north. I have this area. It's called the 210s. So I have everything from 30 in Green Oaks. And you take Green Oaks all the way down to Collins.
That ball's hit high and deep to left field. And that goes just foul and just short of the 310 marker over there near the foul pole. Quite a shot by Kyle Foster. If that thing had had a little wind and been straightened out, we might have seen a Davis Drive dinger there. But instead, the count now even at 1-1. Cameron Weil retreats back to third base.
Man always comes up over that bridge from it. Yeah. I think it comes up and then goes back down and pushes everything.
So 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. Foster the batter. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 2.
Never know what's going to be up there. That's this guy. 'Cause he doesn't call him. He'll call him late sometimes. We'll have to think. Oh, shit. Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike now to Foster. 2 outs. Runner on third. 8-0 the score. The Vikings ahead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a low and inside for ball 3. And the next pitch, this is outside for ball 4. Number 24, Jose Gutierrez. So Gutierrez comes up to the plate, another left-hander for the Vikings. We have a few of them this season. He comes up with 2 outs and 2 on, runners on the corners. Foster at second. I wouldn't be surprised, and there he does go. Now the pitcher steps off towards him, and now it's going to be a throwdown, and the first baseman turned his attention to Cameron Weil, who was running to home, and he scored. The overthrow allows Foster to go all the way to third. Scoring is Cameron Weil. So what probably should have really been a routine just run-down play, the Texans mishandled it. Would have been out number 3. It allowed the run to score, and Foster moves all the way to third. So now still no pitch yet to Gutierrez. His first pitch, looks at it, outside corner for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the next pitch. High fly ball. Medium left field. Now it's going to go into foul territory. And no one can get there in time for it. The left fielder slowed down and didn't really make a full-on run for it. So it's no balls and 2 strikes now.
He wasn't into that. He played varsity. He played like 17.
So no balls and 2 strikes to Jose Gutierrez. Kyle Foster, the runner at third base for the Vikings. They lead 9-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. It's going to miss outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We played out there and Eric had 2 triples and double. That's what got the coach to like it.
There's a sharply hit ball up the middle, going to get through to center field, and that's going to score Foster. Scoring is Kyle Foster. The next batter is number 1, Wesley Powell. Well, the Vikings have a big lead now, 10-0, but I will have to say at least it's because of hits more than anything else. Sometimes we face some of these Sam Houston teams and we see a lot of walks, the pitching breaks down, but really they've been able to put the ball into play. And we're bringing the runners around to score. It's 10-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd with 2 outs. Wesley Powell is the batter. Jose Gutierrez is the runner at first base. Here's the pitch to Powell. And that's going to miss for ball 2. As we were noticing up here in the booth, this umpire doesn't call the pitches very quickly sometimes, so one that looks like it might be a ball or a strike, we have to wait and see what he eventually signals. 2 balls and no strikes to Powell. And that's going to hit him. Well, and hit batsman.
Does he throw him out if he hits the same guy twice?
I think
They hit him before because they hit Fuller. He walked in the first, walked in the second. That's the first time he's been hit. I know Fuller did.
Well, and here we are in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 outs, and Wesley Powell just got hit by a pitch, I believe, in the helmet. A headshot there, so that's going to have us with two runners on base. Gutierrez will be the runner at 3rd. The Vikings scored 3 in the 1st inning, 4 in the 2nd. They've put up 3 so far here in the 3rd. And looks like they might not be finished. The Texans have just changed their pitcher, so a new pitcher is warming up. Looks like number 9, Jose Moffitt.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Texans, number 9, Jose Moffitt. Moffitt now on the mound for the Texans.
The batter's number 9, Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly, the shortstop, comes up to the plate with 2 outs. 2 runners on at 1st and 2nd for the Vikings. Somewhat of a 2-out rally here going. And the first pitch misses for ball 1.
Not a bit.
There's a high fly ball that's going to go out to left center field. The center fielder's making a run on it, and he'll bring it in for out number 3. But not before the Vikings score 3 more to make it 10-0. We'll be back.
3 runs scored, 2 left on base in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The score, Lamar 10, Sam Houston 0. Hot dogs, grilled chicken, burgers, chips, sodas, water, sport drinks, everything you need to enjoy dinner at the ballpark. It's a great way to enjoy the game. And remember, all of your purchases do support the Lamar Baseball Booster Program. And of course, as always, best prices guaranteed.
the coaches, they might bring him up to varsity sometime in the near future. Coach Burkham is what he's with throughout. I like him. Oh, Burkham's awesome. I've gotten to know him some this season. He's great. And he's really good with the guys. He's got that combination when it's time to be authoritative and knock them around and put them in line. He does, but he can also have fun with them. Leading it off in the top of the fourth inning, number 12, Julian Rodriguez.
For the start of the season, he seemed like a real down to earth guy and knew his stuff. What do you call him?
I believe that was ball one. And that pitch is in there for strike one. We're back to the top of the order for the Texans. 9 batters retired in order by Bradley Missel, the freshman pitcher on the mound for the Vikings. Here's the next pitch, and that misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Vikings enjoying a 10-0 lead here going into the top of the 4th inning. There's a high fly ball that goes into right field. Eric DeBrill finds that one for out number 1. The next batter is number 13, Daniel Herrera. So Daniel Herrera comes up to the plate for the second time tonight. He grounded out to the shortstop back in the first inning. And the first pitch in there for strike one. Foul ball for strike one. I was looking down at my notes, and thank you for Carlos Badillo being up here to help with the scoreboard some and keep me straight on what's happening if I'm looking down at the desk. There's a little tapper that's going to roll foul off the first base line, so now we have an 0-2 count. Bradley Missel, quite an impressive freshman pitcher. A lot of first pitch strikes, has some pretty good heat on the fastball. Has retired 10 batters in a row here tonight. Here's the next pitch. And just misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the 4th inning. The Vikings ahead 10-0. Ground ball is bobbled over by the third baseman, Badillo, so that'll put a runner on.
Where's the E button? We'll get that boy there.
The next batter is number 18, Osvaldo Flores. So Flores comes up to the plate for the second time in the game. First pitch is a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Flores. Ooh. The swiping tag by Gutierrez. Kind of tagged the helmet, but he's doing okay. Gutierrez checks on him, says, hey, I didn't mean to do anything wrong. They're okay over there at first base. No balls and 1 strike is the count to Flores. He hits that one, and it's a line drive that's caught by the second baseman, Cameron Weil. He tries to or he throws back trying to pick off the or double up the runner at first, but he gets back in time. So 2 outs now on the L4 play. The batter's number 15, Roberto Walker. Pitch misses inside. It's bobbled around a little bit by Fuller, but didn't get by him, so the runner stays at first base. First base runner of the night for the Texans. 10-0 lead for the Vikings. And the pitch low for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Walker struck out swinging back in the second inning. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one. I think he tipped it for strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Throw back to first. And the base runner, Daniel Herrera, is back safely. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 on here in the top of the 4th inning. Game moving along fairly quickly tonight. Here's the next pitch. It's a kind of a line drive. That'll be a base hit into right field. First hit of the night for the Texans. The next batter is number 16, Flavio Huerta. So Flavio Huerta makes his second appearance. He grounded out to the first baseman in the second inning. He comes up with 2 outs and 2 on. See if Bradley Missile can get him to ground out again and end this inning before anyone scores. That pitch is low in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And the next pitch in there for strike 1. One ball and 1 strike with 2 outs and 2 on here in the top of the 4th inning. Vikings trying to get out of this thing without letting the Texans score here. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that will end the inning.
No run scored, 2 left on base in the top of the 4th inning. The score remains 10-0. That's going to take us to the 4th inning stretch. Trying to get my butt kicked. What's that? Real? Thanks for coming up, man.
So we move into the bottom of the 4th inning now with the Vikings leading 10-0. Eric DeBrill is going to lead off for us here in the bottom of the 4th. Left-handed batter playing right field. That pitch inside brushes him back a little bit for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And if my notes are correct, and sometimes they're off a little bit, he flew out to center field for the third out in the second inning. That pitch misses for ball 2. And previous to that, he struck out looking in the first inning. So DeBrill due for a base hit here, or a walk somehow to get on base. 2-0 count to DeBrill. Here's the next pitch, and that misses for ball 3. So guessing that the red light is on here. See if we can start off with a base runner in the bottom of the 4th. And that pitch does miss for ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Oops. Batting next, number 7, Chase Russell. Now Chase Russell making his first appearance at the plate tonight as we start to see some substitutions coming in. He's batting in the 7th position in place of Kyle Lancaster. First pitch misses for ball 1. So he's up here, right-handed batter with nobody out and a runner on first. That's Eric DeBrill, who had a 4-pitch walk to start off the inning. Vikings ahead 10-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. The next pitch, swung on, fouled straight back to the net. And thank goodness the net is there because it kept the ball from coming into our window. We do have some balls come in these windows once in a while. They loop over the net. So far this season, not yet. It's 1 ball and 1 strike after the foul ball. And the pitch over the back of Chase Russell. Fortunately, the bat came down enough to where it didn't hit it. So 2 balls and 1 strike. On a nice temperature but a cool breeze here in the north part of Arlington, Texas on a Friday night. Throw back over. DeBrill trots back over to first in plenty of time. Two balls and 1 strike. Nobody out and 1 runner on. 10-0 lead for the Vikings, bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the next pitch. It was kind of an outside one that he reached for, but he fouls it away. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Chase Russell. It looks like the on-deck batter, is that number 18, Carlos? Dean Schaefer, yeah. That pitch misses way high for ball 3, so a full count now to Chase Russell. We've got Dean Schaefer, who's going to be coming into the batting order in the 8th spot now. He's on deck. Full count, nobody out, 1 runner on for the Vikings. Here's the pitch. Swung on, that's going to be a looper into short right field. It's missed by the right fielder. It's going to go down as a single. He didn't bobble it. And that's going to put runners at 2nd and 3rd. Batting next for the Vikings, number 18, Dean Schaefer. So Dean Schaefer comes up to the plate. He's done some designated hitter action and back in the tournaments, especially some of the tournament games I saw this past couple of weeks. So there's nobody out and 2 runners on for the Vikings at 2nd and 3rd. DeBrill is on 3rd, Chase Russell on 2nd. Dean Schaefer, another lefty at the plate for the Vikings. Here's the first pitch to him. Misses for ball one. One ball and no strikes. Fouls that one sharply back over towards the Viking bullpen. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Schaefer new to the Viking team this year. He has a younger brother that plays on one of the junior varsity teams. Here's the next pitch. That's high and outside for ball two. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitching has been a struggle here for the Texans tonight. They've been able to get the ball over the plate and put the ball in play, and we had that happen back in the 3rd inning with a double and 3 singles, but then a hit batsman. But here, the pitching's been pretty inconsistent. That pitch missed. I thought that was pretty close. Mr. Badillo up here kind of, I think, had the same type of thought. That might have been a strike, but it goes down as a ball. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike, especially tonight, right? Here's the next pitch. Swung on, fouled back into the parking lot. Back over the concession stand building. Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 runners on at second and third for the Vikings, who lead 10-0, bottom of the 4th inning. That pitch is outside for ball 4, and that will load up the bases. The next batter, number 23, Liam Bell. So the base is loaded with nobody out here for the Vikings, bottom of the 4th inning. 2 walks and a single. Eric DeBrill, that first pitch misses for ball 1. DeBrill led off with a walk. And Chase Russell got a single. Schaefer just walked to load the bases. And that pitch is going to hit him and walk in a run, or bring in a run. Hit it twice. Scoring is Eric DeBrill. And that's going to bring the Sam Houston Texans coach out to the mound again. And it looks like he's going to try out another pitcher. And we'll turn down the volume and let you watch either the action or the scoreboard, whichever one our videographer goes for. And we'll be back. LamarNation.com and then click on live stream. Yeah, I don't know that we have set up a link yet on the Lamar Mobile. Mr. Badillo. And this guy, he'll run the scoreboard up here sometimes. He's doing video tonight for the first time, doing a good job. This guy does everything. He's a really great guy. attention, please. Now pitching for the Texans, number 4, Oscar Melendez. Melendez now pitching. The next batter for the Vikings will be number 11, Cameron Weil.
So here we are back in the action in the bottom of the 4th inning. They've changed pitchers again for the Texans. Cameron Weil is the leadoff batter, playing second base for the Vikings tonight. He's back up to bat. With the bases loaded and nobody out, 1 run in this inning, the score 11-0. So we had a walk, single walk, and hit batsman so far this inning. Cameron Weil watches that first pitch outside for ball 1. He reached on a bunt last inning, ran it out. Then there was an overthrow. It was a single. That guy is fast. Here's the next pitch. That's outside. The catcher reaches over to grab it before it causes trouble. But to count 2 balls and no strikes to Weil. And the next pitch is high fly ball out to short left field, and it's going to be brought in for out number 1. DeBrill shows that he might tag, but Chase Russell, who's the runner at third, but he goes back. The next batter for the Vikings, Justin Escar. So Justin Escar comes up to the plate for the first time tonight as we continue some substitutions with the 11-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Looks at the first pitch for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch misses for ball 2. Catcher has a little bit of a problem with that one. It bounced out of the glove, but no one advances on the bases. Escar is another senior on the team. Courtesy ran earlier for Chance Fuller. 2-0 count. Swings out with a ground ball that's going to go past the third baseman. That's going to score Chase Russell.
I'm sorry, that's not 13, is it? Should be 12.
It should be 12. But let's just hold it for a second. Jose Gutierrez. Jose Gutierrez comes back up to the plate. Bases loaded. 1 out. Looks at the first pitch for ball 1.
You have to edit. It's real goofy. I bet they score another one. Yeah, for now. We need to write down instructions. My son figured it out.
Next pitch is outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Gutierrez.
Got 2 outs to get another run.
Bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the next pitch. That's inside for ball 3. So a 3-0 count to Gutierrez with the bases loaded. 12-0 lead for the Vikings. And that pitch bounces, and that's ball 4, and that will bring in the run. Scored by Dean Schaefer.
Scoring is Dean Schaefer. The next batter, Wesley Powell.
Powell.
Powell gets out ahead of that one for the foul ball. The count, no balls and one strike to Wesley. Another one of our seniors. Great center fielder, great speed on the bases. Batting cleanup this year so far. Fourth in the order. Next pitch. It looks like he wanted to take a swing at that one, held back, and it's going to be strike two. No balls and two strikes. Here's the next pitch. Looked like it was tailing outside. Powell swings out to grab a piece of it. He fouls it away, so the count stays at 0-2. (13-0) score here for the Vikings, ahead of the Sam Houston Texans. Next pitch, high and inside. And it just did graze him, apparently. So he will reach, and that'll bring in another run. Scoring is Liam Bell.
The next batter for the Vikings, Sean Kelly.
Sean Kelly comes up to the plate now with the bases loaded and 4 runs in this inning. And this inning's pretty much been a lot of the walks and hit batsmen. That first pitch just misses for ball 1.
It's easy to get zoned out, man. I do it all the time.
So 1-0 count to Sean Kelly. And that pitch misses. That was a pretty close one also. 2 balls and no strikes. A game like this is tough for everyone in some ways because when the pitching breaks down, the guys want to hit the ball, they want to play baseball, but you can't just swing at stuff that's not anywhere near. There's one that's outside. He loops that one just out of the reach of the second baseman. Looked like he might have a play on it, just missed. And that's going to score Justin Escar.
Scoring is Justin Escar. The next batter, Eric DeBrill.
DeBrill comes up to the plate, fouls the first pitch just to the top of the netting, directly over the catcher and umpire. So no balls and 1 strike to Eric. Another one of our left-handers, plays right field. No balls and 1 strike. There is 1 out, but the bases are loaded and the score 14-0. That pitch misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, 2 singles this inning. I'm showing 1, 2, 3 walks and 2 hit batsmen. It's going to be outside for ball 2.
Clint left.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch. Swung on, popped up high towards the third baseman. He's going to make a play on it, and he catches it for out number 2. That'll go down as an F5. Number 7, Chase Russell. Now Chase Russell comes up for his second time. He's got a fan club here tonight as soon as we called out his name over the PA system. He had a lot of people cheering for him. That ball goes just over the net, just over the stands and to the right of our booth. Starts off with an 0-1 count now. Earlier this inning, Chase got a single, and this looks like it's, well, that's going to fall into the glove for the third out. But not before the Vikings take, I believe, a 15-0 lead. We'll be back.
Runs scored in the bottom of the fourth inning. The score 15-0. Hold on just a second, because that was in the fourth inning. I think you're in the fifth. So.
What's up, bud? How you doing? Tired. You haven't been doing anything. All I do is work.
Somehow it got us into the fifth inning on the scoreboard. Go ahead and add a home team run right now. He's got to go take care of that. No, it's going into some demo mode. Figure that out. Leading off for the Texans in the top of the fifth inning, number 19, Juan Rosales.
That's why they should not let people over 60 deal with technology.
First pitch to Rosales misses for ball one. Bradley Missile, the pitcher still for the Vikings, who lead 15-0 here in the top of the fifth inning. There's the next pitch. It's going to be a line drive to the perfectly placed Cameron Weil at second base. He gets the out on the L4. The next batter is number 1, Ty Pham. So Ty Pham is going to come up, his first appearance at the plate tonight.
I don't know, man.
One out, nobody on here in the top of the fifth inning. First pitch misses for ball one. Swing and a miss there. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the fifth inning. There's another swing and a miss for strike 2.
I don't know, man.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3. The next batter is number 34, Nebelisa Ekbom. First pitch misses for ball one. So the first 2 batters of this inning retired in order. Here's the next pitch. Misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. To Nebelisa Ekbom. Designated hitter, batting 8th in the order tonight overall. Swings and misses at that one. 2 balls and 1 strike now with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitch misses inside for ball 3. So Bradley Missile still has some heat, but he's not quite as consistent as he had been earlier. The next pitch swung on a miss for strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Full count. Missile going to see if he can get the batters in order here in the top of the 5th. And he does on the called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down. Score remains 15-0.
3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th inning. And that's going to be the end of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, with the final score, Lamar 15, Sam Houston 0. Lamar High School would like to thank everybody for showing up to support both teams tonight. Please buckle up and drive home carefully. Thank you so much for coming up here to help, man.
No problem.
I appreciate it a lot.
I don't mind doing that.
Well, we may call on you some more. No, it wasn't. You got a single in the 4th.
Well, that's going to be the end of the ball game here with the run rule in effect. It was 15-0 here, top of the 5th inning. And quite an impressive pitching night for Bradley Missile of the Vikings, a freshman who only allowed 1 hit, only 2 base runners allowed in the shutout. I've got down that he recorded 5 strikeouts, only 2 fly balls, a couple of line drives, and a lot of ground balls. Very effective pitching and defensive work by the Vikings tonight as they defeat Sam Houston 15-0. Be watching for our next broadcast, which I believe is going to be Tuesday night. We'll send out some information. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and working through our bugs with us as we're getting the season going on our broadcast again. And we look forward to sharing another game with you soon. I believe it'll be Tuesday night, but check the website and social media for that. Once again, Lamar 15, Sam Houston 0.